Welcome back to another video. We're gonna take a look at an ergonomic analysis within CATIA for a simulation racing cockpit. But before we're gonna get started, we're gonna check the model. So the model is available over here within a step file format. This has been created within SolidWorks, and if I will drag and drop this within Solid, we're gonna see how SolidWorks will start to convert this. And this is also one of the, let's say, difference between CATIA and SolidWorks. We see how long it will take for SolidWorks to open this step file in comparison to CATIA. And also there are some key differences. Solid will unpack all the parts within this existing folder, while CATIA will be able to process that without having to unpack that step directly over here where the file is. So I'm currently gonna wait for SolidWorks to convert this. We see that it is currently still parsing file, so this is the second step. We see that the documents will be created on disk to import free curves and points. I will click OK. We're gonna see that there will be quite a lot of surfaces over here. I also heard some of, let's say, the warning sound again over here. We see that Solid is not that great at converting and opening step files, especially if there are more, let's say, complex assemblies. In some cases, for some models, it will open them quite fast. But we see that now I also have CATIA over here open, but that is just sitting idle over there, so there are no resources being used. So SolidWorks will still process that. This could have been a different video just regarding the conversion from Solid to CATIA. Okay, so we have the model loaded. We see that some of those will have some rebuild errors, but that shouldn't be any problem. Now, why I wanted to open this also in SolidWorks, I want to showcase the fact that over here we're gonna have the y-axis going upwards. So the orientation, if I will check over here, for example, a side view, the orientation will be correct. So this will be that view, so right view, and this will be the left view. Now, when I will open the same step file within CATIA, we're gonna have the z-axis swap with the y. We see also over here that SolidWorks unpacked all of those files over here. While CATIA, I will drag and drop the same step file, and the converter from CATIA will not have to unpack the files over here. And also, just take a look at how fast CATIA will convert this. We saw that initially in SolidWorks it took quite a long time. I see that this video is already 3 minutes, while CATIA is working on it for maybe the last 25 seconds. And it's almost completed, and we have the model loaded. So I estimated that this is roughly around half a minute. The only drawback and let's say difference is that we see the orientation, the z-axis will go upwards, and if I will check this again from the left view, this will be the left view. So we have to realign that. I also have to change all the individual axes of the parts and assemblies. I have CATIA set to highlight those individually. So if you didn't do some changes, maybe you don't see those, you maybe just gonna see some planes. And now I wanna show you how you can hide all of those. We can use some tips and tricks. And I also have a video regarding this. So we see this, how to select and hide all planes. And this will be the same trick that we can apply over here to select all the axes and hide them all at once. I highly encourage you to check my CATIA V5 tips and tricks playlist, which will be available over here. Underneath playlist, we're gonna see the CATIA V5 tips and tricks playlist. So currently there are over 150 videos over here, as we can see, and I will constantly update this with newer videos. So how to hide all of those? I'm just gonna go over here at the top for edit, search. The hotkey will be Ctrl F. I will select one axis over here, and I will go over here from element, and I will do that selection again. And we're gonna see that CATIA identified that this will be an axis system. So now we can set this to look everywhere. Go over here on the search and everything will be selected. You just need to go over here, click select. All of those have been selected, and you can just hide those. So that's a nice trick that you can easily implement within your workflow. Now, in order to realign the chair over here, I will go within assembly design. And since this was a step file, all the constraints are no longer defined over here. So I will just select everything and I will group them together with fix together over here within assembly. Therefore, I can select the racing car now. I can go over here to snap automatically to selected by right clicking on the compass. I can select everything. And afterwards, I will right click this red spot, go to edit, and I will add the incrementation rotation for the U and V to 90, and I will rotate this twice over here. So as you can see, this only rotated the TV, so I want everything to be rotated. We have over here that constraint. I will just select everything, and yeah, now this will rotate everything. So keep that in mind that everything must be in orange. That means they are selected. So I will go within the left view, this will be the left view, and this will be the right view. So this is the correct orientation. I can unsnap the compass and I can put it back. So we have this within position. Now we can add the mannequin. Therefore, I will go to Start, Ergonomic Design Analysis, and I will go to Human Builder. I will create a new mannequin. For this case study, I will leave the percentile to 50, and I will select the main racing car named assembly. I will click OK, and we're gonna have that added. So we are gonna need the mannequin to be within a sitting position. Therefore, I will go over here to posture editor, select the mannequin, and make it within a sit position. Afterwards, I will go within the top view, select the mannequin. I will snap the compass back again, and I will move this within the desired location. I can either move it on a single axis or I can select it over here. So this will move it within the X and Y plane. And I will just reposition the mannequin within the chair. So something like this. Afterwards, rotate. And on the Z axis, I will move him towards the sitting position. So something like this. Now we have the possibility to change his position. So I want his legs to be on the pedals. I will use the inverse kinematics over here. Select that, let's say the left foot, and I will position it over here. We're gonna see that we have a rotation over here, so we can make use of that. And since this is an inverse kinematic, we have the possibility to move it like this. If I'm gonna drag the leg a lot, we're gonna see that it will appear like this with yellow. That means it will be out of reach, so we need to reposition the mannequin within the chair. But as you can see, this will be fine, so he will reach that pedal without any problem. Okay, I'm gonna do the same for the other leg over here. So move it once, and I'm gonna put this pedal over here on the acceleration. As you can see, this is a manual car. We have 3 pedals. And we're also gonna have a manual gear shifter over here. Okay, we can do the same with the hands. We can either use inverse kinematic and select those and move the hand. We're gonna see how that will reach a yellow state. So that is an, let's say, impossible position for the hand, but that was because I had the snap enabled. And we can also make use of the forward kinematic. I can select, for example, this segment, and I can move it up and down. And if I want to change a different degree of freedom for this one, I can just right click and I will obtain the other one, in this case degree of freedom 3, which will be this axis. So I can twist the hand like this. We can also use the posturator over here, and by selecting the forearm, we're going to have the possibility to do the same movements. So this will be degree of freedom 1, flexion extension, and we also have the one that I just previously showed. So we can change those over here. Usually I prefer to use the forward kinematics, since this will be a little bit faster. I can just select what I want, and afterwards I can move it or change the degree of freedom. So we see that in this case, I'm gonna need to maybe move it like this. And you can use a combination between inverse kinematics and the forward pose over there. So I will just move the hand over here. We're gonna see, but that will be within a future video, how we can change the hand grasp. So for example, if I will select the hand, but I need to be within the forward kinematic, it will be like that. And we also have the standard pose, but we can change the grasping type over here. So by default within the human builder, we don't have access to those. Let me just check. Okay, so we do have, but they are just not enabled by default. So we have over here mannequin hand grasp, and we have them over here. So we can position the hand on a spherical posture, cylindrical, and also pinch, and we can execute that grasp over there. But now, since this is all the steering part is within the same part, it will not exactly understand what the hand should grasp. So if I will go to hand cylindrical, select the hand, select the object, we're gonna see that it will look like this. I can also press the execute auto grasp. And for the fingers, I will just use the forward kinematic button over here, and I will put those fingers onto that steering wheel. Again, if you want, you can change various degree of freedoms for each finger. So the position currently is not that great, as we can see for this arm over here. I will slightly increase it, but afterwards I should also check the hand position. So currently we see that this finger will touch the paddle in the back, which is that one. So I can just reposition it. Okay, so let's see how we can also maybe position. I want this hand to also be on top of the steering. So I'll just go with forward kinematics, select that, and I will move it over here. We're gonna see that it will be out of reach when it is within yellow. So we need the hand to be positioned over the surface shape over here, or of the stick of the manual stick gear. Therefore, I'm gonna move the mannequin a little bit forward. So I will select the mannequin, go over here, and move it. So we're gonna need to realign the legs. And we can also do the same for the chair if you want to, because we see that within this 3D model, the chair is not exactly positioned, it's just floating. So to do that, we're gonna need to go back within assembly design. So go over here, back to assembly, select the chair, and we're gonna have the manipulation tool, which for me is located over here on the top. This will be the x-axis, and I will slightly move the chair so that the mannequin will better be positioned over here, so he can position his hand over that spherical gear shifter. So go back to Human Builder. And over here we see the position of the hand, and I will go for a spherical hand posture. Select the hand and do an auto compute, and we're gonna see how that will process. So even though the shape over here is not individual within a spherical, the mannequin will go within a spherical hand position just by selecting those. So this will be pinch. As we can see, for pinch, those two fingers will be used. This will be a cylindrical posture, and this will be the spherical posture. So all that we have to do now is just reposition the hand on top of that. So we're still gonna have some yellow areas over there where the hand wasn't in reach, but currently we see that over here it is in reach. And now we can just close the fingers onto that. The rotation and the movement, it's a little bit trickier when you are so close up to the model, but we see how we can close that hand onto the gear shifter. And you can further start to position this. Now, when you will finish, you can define a ruler analysis to see how well your mannequin will stay within an ergonomical position. You can type in over here. I already have C and 2 points, so I will just add ruler analysis, and I will select the mannequin, and I will receive the analysis over here. So for the side, for the left side, we're gonna see that the final score in this case will be only 4. That means we should further investigate, since if this will be a static posture, the mannequin hand, so the left side, is not that well positioned. So this is not an ergonomical position. We see the upper hand, the forearm, and the posture overall will have a low value. In case of the right side, we're gonna see that this will be a lot better. So we see that the final score for this will be 2. This will be acceptable, but this should require further investigation. If we're gonna change this to a repeat posture, but in order to shift gears, the mannequin and the user will not have his hand positioned over here all the time. So it will go back and forth between the position on the wheel with that hand. Okay, so I hope that you find this video useful. I will position a similar video over here on the left side. I will add the CATIA V5 tips and tricks playlist to the top, and I highly encourage you to give that a look. And I will also add a subscribe button to the right. So I hope you find this useful. So thanks for watching.